Hey guys, today we're going to be making a zombie head prop. Here's a list of things that you're going to need. One thing I forgot to add to that list is either a broom handle or a piece of PVC. I'll show you where you need it. First thing you need is a styrofoam head. Also, you're going to need some black spray paint. And here's where you're going to need that piece of PVC. What you do with that PVC is you shove it up in the hole underneath the styrofoam head, which makes it easier to work with. You can also use a broom handle if you need one. Also, you're going to need to get your hands on the Dremel. I know that's not a Dremel, but hey, I'm poor. It's the closest thing I could get to one. Gets the job done. So let's get started right now. First thing you want to do is establish where you're going to be putting your holes in there. We're going to do 2 ear holes, a nose, both eye sockets, the mouth, and we're going to drill a hole up underneath the chin. After that, we're going to be putting some wounds on the skull. We'll get to that in a minute. First thing I like to do is I'd like to establish where my eye sockets are going to be. I kind of put the Dremel on a low setting and I just trace a circle around the areas where I know that my eyes are going to go. Keep in mind that when you put black spray paint on there, you're going to melt the styrofoam. The styrofoam has a chemical agent that reacts to the styrofoam agent. I'm trying to sound all scientific. I really don't know what the hell is going on, but spray paint will melt styrofoam. So once you get both of your eyes done, you kind of want to establish where you're going to put your nose. I like to leave a little bit of a ridge down by the nostrils because when it melts, it gives it a really cool effect. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of cut a couple of holes here where we're going to put it. And then we're going to drill our hole into the nose area. Keep in mind, as I said before, the styrofoam is going to melt once the paint hits it. I'm only going in about a ½ an inch. It'll probably melt down to an inch when it's all said and done, but ½ an inch is plenty far enough. Next thing we want to do is put our mouth on here. I'm marking it with my fingernail. That's going to be the edges of my mouth. Take your Dremel, line it up where you marked your little areas, and just kind of make a hole in there. Doesn't matter how deep you go on this part here because you kind of want a deep mouth, because it adds a really cool effect to the entire prop. You see, I kind of got a little western there with that one gouge. It's okay, because once the spray paint hits it, it's not going to matter. When you're making these mouths, kind of think of the Joker's scars. That's kind of how far you want to go out with the, with your cuts. Now that I've established, I'm going to start going in real deep with the Dremel. You need to go almost all the way into the very end of the bit. And there you got it. See, you have a nice, good smile right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drill up underneath the jaw. And we're going to put a hole in there so it'll reach in where my finger was just at. So once again, we're going to put a hole in there. It's going to go up to where my finger was. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want it to look like it's decaying. And once the spray paint hits there, it's going to melt it back. And when people get up close and they look at your prop, they're going to see that it has a lot of detail to it because you did this one little step. Nothing special, just get a hole in there, leave plenty of room for the chin. If you look here, you can see my finger sticking through the hole. Now what you want to do is take your Dremel, and what I do is I push my bit out just a little bit more to make it longer, and then now I'm going to stick it in all the way, like I'm just cutting away that right in its mouth. And that's all you got to do. Spray paint's going to do the rest of the work for you. Doesn't he look happy? Okay, now it's time to do the ear holes. I usually go straight across from the eyeball to the seam of the styrofoam. Doesn't matter how deep you go with these ear holes because they're going to get covered by prosthetic later in the video. So you can go in 1 inch, a ½ inch, 3 inches, it doesn't matter. So once you get your circle put in right there, just kind of move it around in a circular motion. You got your circle for your ear hole. Now we're going to go to the other side, go to the eye, go to the seam, drill a hole in there, and then kind of go in a circular motion again. Did I say emotion? I meant motion. Circular motion, not emotion. And there you go. You got both of your ear holes set up. I guess I'm going to be doing a little bit more touch-up in there. I guess it helps if you go back and watch the video. Oh, yeah, you want to clean out the styrofoam as best as possible because it will be in your way when you're spray painting, and it's a pain in the butt. So there you go. Got your main holes put in there. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to establish some wounds. I like to put a wound up there on top, and I think I'm going to put a gouge on the side of the head, and then I'm going to put a big hole in the back there, and then I'm going to put a little wound on the base of the skull on the back. So here we go. Going to kind of draw or trace a section of where you're going to put your first wound, and then you're going to get in there and you're going to cut it out. You see how I put those lines in there? Just kind of a reference for me. And this part is tedious. It takes a long time to do. Just, you know, don't get too bored to where you screw up. Just, you know, kind of get it done at your own pace. You see it only went down about ½ an inch right there. The reason why I did that is because, as I said before, the spray paint is going to melt the rest of it away. It doesn't have to be smooth because you want that effect of it looking like a corpse, and nothing is smooth on a corpse unless it's got really smooth dance moves. But anyways, now we're going to be carving the back of the skull. This is where I said we're going to go deep in back here. I kind of like to think, you know, maybe he might have got shot in the head and it, you know, kind of exploded out the back. But, you know, I like to give my zombie heads a story. And that's my zombie head story for this one. Maybe he was in the wrong part of town and like in Georgia, and somebody pulled a gun out and shot him in the head and it come flying out the back. Anyways, so there it is. You see I kind of have it in there. It's got some rough edges. You want that because the spray paint is going to melt it away, give it different elevations, make it look cool. Now I'm working on the wound on the back of the head. And right here I just kind of make a zigzag. Kind of like, I don't know, Harry Potter, but on the side of the head. And when the spray paint hits that, it's going to melt it away and leave just a little bit of an indentation, which is going to look all balls, man. Friggin' awesome. Now, I got it cleaned out, you know, making sure everything's right. And I think I'm going to add one more thing to this. If you look at a skull, you kind of see that on the cheeks they're sunken in. And we're going to do that with this here. Kind of like how we did the little zigzag up on top. We're just going to put a little tiny bit of a mark in there, because the spray paint is going to do all the work for us. So, as you see, I got my 2 marks in there. And that's going to give it that sunken in cheek look. Really cool look to it. I mean, it adds a lot of character to this. And that's what you're going for. You want to make something that people are going to be like, this is awesome. So, it's time to paint. Put on a glove if you can, because it sucks getting paint on your hands. Or if you like getting paint on your hands, then don't wear a glove. But I wear a glove because I got smooth hands that the ladies like me touching them with. And by ladies, I mean my wife. So anyways, you're going to be doing blasts, not constant spraying because you'll melt a lot. Just blasts, kind of like how I'm doing that. Doesn't matter if it misses the hole. It's going to get, you know, in there and accomplish what you want. You see where it's kind of turning gray where I've spray painted? That's the paint eating away at the styrofoam. Here we are, about 10 minutes later, and I got the whole front of the face done, up underneath the jaw. Now we're going to hit the back of the head. Doesn't that look pretty cool? So we're going to hit the back of the head. Now, this is just one application that I'm doing right now, and you see there's the gray showing up. But anyways, this is my first application. I'm going to do about 3 or 4 of these to really get it dark in there. Each application will coat the previous application to eventually where the paint won't be hitting any styrofoam. It'll be the paint painting the paint, if that makes sense. So let it dry, and now we're going to get some cotton balls. And what you want to do with your cotton balls is you want to unroll your cotton balls. And I would not have any less than 20 of these cotton balls rolled out. You're going to need them all. So unroll them like that. It's really simple to do. It's time consuming. I'm sorry, but you got to do it. Now you're going to need some acrylic painter's caulk. And you're going to want to mix it with water in a bowl like that until it gets real slimy. And yes, I said water. Some people use ammonia, but water's cheaper, and you can do this in the house. So, and then get a paintbrush, and that's what you're going to use to put the cotton balls on there. So first thing you want to do is to get your paintbrush, and you're going to put a layer of silicone on the skull. Pretty simple, just like, you know, painting a room, I guess, or painting the fence, you know, up, down, no side to side. But yeah, you're going to put a layer of silicone on there, and then, well, I put a lot on there in this first application, but yeah, so then you're going to take your cotton ball, and you're going to kind of spread it out a little bit, and then you're just going to put it on top of the silicone, like so. And you see you got that cotton on there, and now you're going to take your paintbrush again, and you're going to paint on top of that cotton. And you really want to saturate the crap out of it, okay? Because you don't want there to be any voids in there. The silicone will dry, the water will evaporate out of there, and you know, you don't want any voids, you don't want to give it any reason to fall off. So basically what you're doing, you're just caking it on there. And just paintbrush motions, man. Nothing too special. Just, you know, paint it till you can't see the cotton. That's the best advice I can give you. I like to really put the junk on there. Now, if you see right there, I kind of have a little bump. It's hard to see with the light and all that, but there it is. See that bump? What that is, you know, the end of the cotton ball rolled out. That looks cool. Don't worry about that. That adds character to your prop. So now I'm putting another piece of cotton on right next to it, and I'm just painting it on there. And I'm going to have a little bump up there on top, and that's going to look cool. You know, it kind of gives the impression that some areas are decaying faster than others. So here I am, putting a bunch of cotton on there. I'm trying to speed up the process because my kids are outside playing right now, and I can't hear them, and I want to know what the hell they're doing. So that's why I'm hurrying up. I'm putting a bunch of cotton balls on there. And look, there's the back of the head. You see, I rolled the cotton around there a little bit. I really clumped that up because we want it to be, you know, elevated above the hole. Because when we put our other cotton on there, we don't want the cotton to drip down into the hole. We want the cotton to, you know, kind of prop up over the top of it, give it that stretched look. So there it is, cotton on the jaw, cotton on the neck. Go down as far as you want to go. Just drape cotton all over that whole thing, just like that. I mean, God, doesn't that look awesome? I mean, that just is, like, pretty sweet. So you're going to keep putting your cotton on there, and, you know, that's pretty much it. I go through, I like to touch things up. You know, you have all that silicone in that cup, and why waste it, you know? Just put it on there. It's just going to add to it. This is one of those cases where too much is not too much. I mean, you want it to look grisly, and you can. So there I am, I'm done. I'm waiting 24 hours, and then I'm coming back to it. And there it is. I'm going to call it Gregory, because it looks like a Gregory. First thing you want to do is dip some cotton in your new silicone that you've made, and you're just going to lay it on there kind of like that. You're not using a paintbrush this time, you're just doing that. You know, you see I've laid the cotton on there, I'm stretching it out. The cotton is severely saturated. Is severely the word? Oh, there goes my daughter. The cotton is tremendously saturated. There we go. We'll use that word. And we're just dripping it over there because, you know what? This looks like flesh. This looks like flesh that possibly melted or tore away from the zombie as it was climbing out of the grave, getting ready to come into your house and eat you. Or maybe it's like that because it's going to go dance with Michael Jackson. Who knows? But it looks pretty cool. You see, I'm just draping that over, and I like to put a lot over the eyes because, you know, it kind of looks like it's just falling over there. Here's the back of the skull. This is where that elevation I was telling you about comes in handy. And before, you know how I said you don't want to have any less than 20? Pretty much the same story on this part here. And keep in mind on this that, you know, just because you can put that cotton on there doesn't mean you should put a lot on there. A little bit goes a long ways. You know, don't cover the whole head in cotton, but, you know, stretch it out, make it work for you. You're going to cover a lot more area by stretching that cotton like that. See, then I have a piece hanging off his jaw right there. You know how we put that hole in the neck? It's good to have a cotton hanging down under the neck, because it, you know, looks like you know, muscles kind of where your like neck muscles would be. God, I don't know what they're called. So we're going to wait another 24 hours, and now we need wood stain. Now this is a darker wood stain. You want to wear gloves for this because this stuff gets everywhere. Take your wood stain and you're going to just apply it. Paint it on there, you know. Look at that. Just goes right on there. The silicone and cotton will absorb it right up. This by no means that this thing is waterproof. If you want to waterproof this, you need to go buy like a Thompson's water sealer or something like that, or a can of that sealant spray. This stuff will wash off with a good rainstorm. The reason why I know this is because we had a really good rainstorm the next day, and half of the stain had washed off the skull. Half of it stayed, but most of it was gone off the top. So I had to go back and repaint the skull. But yeah, you see him kind of just painting, you know. You can take a rag and kind of dab it, but I don't. But there it is. Pretty cool, huh? Let's go scare my son with it real quick. Ready? Here he is. See, he doesn't like it. Ooh, I'm going to get you, Chris. Run, run. And he runs away. So, there's my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And happy Halloween.